Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today we're going to take a look at all these amazing cards as inspiration for everyday homemade cards made from my card swaps that I host. So let's jump in and get with the first set. So if you are ever interested in joining in any of my card swaps, I host them throughout the year, and my big Christmas one is coming up super soon. It's actually started. The link for the Facebook group is down below, so make sure you check that out. So this first card set is made by Cindy. This is an everyday card swap. So you can use this year round. They're for all different kinds of purposes. So for this particular card set, she started off with a cream base, and we have some sort of really pretty floral background piece that she has cut to be a little bit of a matte, but not the full length of the card. She has then added a little bit of ribbon, which she's probably just tucked right under, and it goes underneath and probably just attaches to the bottom of this top piece right here. And then she's added 3 little gems to that, which is super sweet. Then we have another sheet of the cream paper, and she has stamped and die cut out. So first she stamped the girl, and then she die cut out the same shape out of the same pattern paper to make it look like her dress. And then the stamp says celebrate in style. So that really could go for just about anything. So it's a really cool way of taking the pattern paper and turning it into like a piece of clothing. That is so super cute. I love that. And then she has punched out these little star emblems, and they're again out of the same pattern paper. So she just punched out the little extra little filigree stars and then inked the entire edge of that sheet paper in gold and then popped it up. Such a cute idea. All right, these cards are so fun. This is from Linda Schwartz, and what she has done is she created a whole bunch of different kind of cards using the same stamp and the same sentiment, but kind of changing up some of the embellishments and the colors that go along with it. So she has stamped out these ladies and colored them in. And sometimes she colored them in using pencils, and sometimes she colored them in using markers. And the colors of the ladies and the drinks and the background chairs and all of that changed for every single one of these cards. And she made 20 of these, and this is just a small sampling to kind of give you an idea. The backgrounds of the cards are all different, but they all open the same, as you can see. But again, she's changed up the background. So sometimes we have purple, green, red, blue, all very different. At the bottom, she has stamped life as a beach. Sometimes she left them blank. Sometimes she added gems. Sometimes, a little swirl of something. She changed that up as well. So everything was a little bit different on that one. We then have a vertical stripe along the side. Sometimes it's washi tape. Sometimes it's paper, a pattern paper that kind of goes similar to what is happening in the card itself. And then she's added a little bit of a decoration. So we have a large single flower that's been doubled, or this is a large flower that's been doubled up. We have a series of 3 flowers. Sometimes we have 2 flowers. Sometimes we have a pretty little gem on the side here that looks kind of like a flower. Sometimes the flowers are sparkly, sometimes they're plain. Sometimes there is no flower, but she added some gems to the side here, some little pearls, and then she added a ribbon at the top. So it's the same concept of a card, but how you finish it, this is a great way to kind of pull out your stash of stuff. And if you're not worried about trying to make everything super, super identical, it kind of uses up those stash supplies that you have, because you can change it up and play around with it using the same stamp and then changing up pattern paper, background paper, but it still is a mass production card for whatever you need to do. So great idea. Another set from Cindy. These are so pretty and so elegant, and really this kind of card, because there's no sentiment on there, could work for just about anything. I mean, you could give this as a birthday, you could give this as an anniversary card, even as a wedding card, it would work really well. I mean, a sympathy card, there's so many uses for simple and just what I would call sentimentless cards, but it fits for everyday life. A love card, I mean, so many options here. So what she has done is she has taken a cream cardstock for a base, a blank card on the inside, and then added a really pretty background paper to the card. And all of the background papers have some sort of foiling accent to them to make them that really extra glitz and glam idea. She has then taken a piece of ribbon. This happens to be also in gold, a very complementary gold to the background that's already there. It's very Gatsby feel. I mean, that's the vibe I get. I look at it, the girl that's in the stamp, the colors, the whole motif, even the designs of the papers is very great Gatsby. I love that, very 20s. So then she has taken a little bit of some vellum. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's blue. It depends on the card. Well, it's not really clear. It's more of like an eggshell color is the best way to describe that. She has then stamped on a circle and it's been embossed. This is actually gold embossed, and it looks like a girl, a flapper girl. So she's got like a hat on, some a girl from the 20s is basically what it is, and it's been cut in the circle. That's placed over top, and the vellum piece is popped up on top of the ribbons. That way it doesn't wobble. So it's got a little bit of a lift to it. And the last thing is she's taken a little gold bow in a different type of ribbon. It's almost like a braided ribbon, and added it to the top here, almost like it's a little piece that's hanging. Those are so elegant. I love these. All right, this is a trio of cards that I personally made, and it's using a cute little lawn fawn stamp set. There is a video on this card if you want to check it out. It will be up in the iCard with all the everyday card kind of videos. So it's basically using the same template as you can see, a white card base with a white cardstock mat on top. It opens up like this. And just to give it a little bit of a definition, whatever color I stamped in, I also inked the edge of the white card on top. So it gives it the illusion that there's actually more layers when there really isn't. It's just a nice clean layer. Matching the colors that are in the ink, I also matched the colors of the background paper. And I did 2 layers. So one of them happens to be more of a pattern paper, or it could be just 2 different tones of colors of pattern paper, which also came from Lawn Fawn. And then obviously stamping the corner, either you're the sweetest or you're the best. And that came from the same stamp set that with the little ice cream cone was in. And the ice cream cone had the options of putting little faces in there, which is what you see there. So then I took a circle and I just did a hand stitch with a pen around the corner, and I hand stitched with the pen a color that was somewhat similar. For these 2, I did them in brown, and this one I did it in the corresponding purple. And then popped up the little ice cream cone that I stamped, die cut, and then colored in with pencils, and then popped those up and made it really sweet and cute. I also added a layer of twine underneath, and the twine matches the color of the ice cream cone, except for this one I did mess that up and I made the ice cream cone the same color as the background paper, but it still works, so it really doesn't matter. So this is again a fun way of using up different colors of inks, using up different colors of background paper, and keeping a very clean and simple type card that could be used for just about anything. All right, here's a pair of cards that have a fun kind of a background. It's more using stencils. So I used a white cardstock base, and then I layered it the same thing as the last card with this one. I layered it with a sheet of white paper, just matted a smaller, and then inked the edges in the purple. Then put a layer of foiled paper from Rainier. And this one I did it in black, but I didn't put that extra layer of the purple that I inked on the edge. I just did the black just to give it a contrast. Then I took a sheet of white cardstock paper, put a stencil, and took a purple ink pad and then just inked it all over and transferred the design, and that's how you get that design on the back. There is also a video for this one up in that iCard with all the everyday videos. I also went through and I popped up and I did a series of layers. It's got foil, it's got paper, and then it's got the stamped paper, and they're all inked for the papers. This one's in purple and this one's in black, just have a change pace. And then I stamped with a series of butterflies, and then a stamp says thinking of you, and that stamp is from Joy Claire. This is a fun card. I love this. It's on a brown cardstock base. It's a white and pink watercolor paper that already came that way, so it's cardstock. And then I found a really pretty little piece that I cut out. It looks like a candy jar, and a whole bunch of little strips, and these are actually stickers, but you could do small strips of paper if you wanted to. A whole bunch of sequins and gems and tonic drops. Those are the Nouveau drops, and then just a little fabulous at the bottom. So again, it could be used for just about anything. 3 cards with a very similar type of design going on here. Black cardstock base with a fun foil background paper. These again ones that I have made. And then adding these little strips of stickers. But again, if you don't have stickers, you can always use paper for something like that, or you could even draw them in. You could use a pen and draw in this kind of starburst effect. And then a giant stamp, this happens to be Let's Celebrate, that I popped up, stamped, die cut, and popped it up. And actually I didn't die cut, I hand cut this because it's just straight lines. Just take your scissors and go around the edges. So it's a great use for those large stamps. Add a little bit of fun stuff, and I did ink the backgrounds in the black just to give it a little fun difference. Very clean and simple card on this one. It is a white cardstock base. For this one, I took some gray burlap, which I cut down and matted to size. And then I took 2 sheets of foiled paper, one in black and one in gold from the Rinia foil, punched out a whole bunch of little stars to give it a design on that background, punched out a large star out of the black foil, a white button, and then I actually pulled a strip of the burlap out of this as I was cutting it, tied that knot, and added that to the center of the button, just for a very simple, clean card that you could use for so many things, even for Christmas. This is another fun card where it's just a black cardstock base. Again, those strips of those stickers going into fun starburst, but again, you could draw those in if you wanted to, or you could use like your stickles. You draw them in a line with the stickles. Adding in a fun wooden piece that was already in gold, but you could also die cut out a piece like that, and then just a sticker on top that says fabulous. This is a very simple card where basically you're letting the work of the paper do it for you. You cut out a sheet of paper that comes from what I would call a Project Life planner. Usually it's from those giant 12 by 12 scrapbook papers that have all the little pieces cut out of them. Cut out, cut it to shape, add a little heart at the top of the eye, some little tonic drops in the corner, and a little So Happy, ink the edges, and stuck it on a black card. Super simple. Here are 3 cards that have a similar design, but they are different, but the concept is the same. It is a cardstock base. This one's black, pink, and then also in mint. And then it's got a pattern paper for a background. This one, I didn't do the full background in the pattern paper. I left it blank. We then have a vertical strip going through the paper. This one's a single vertical strip. This one's a double. It's got a gray and then a black on top of that. And this one has a pattern paper with a brown on top of it. So it's just a little bit different. And then there's a focal element. There's a main focus on each one of these cards. This one happens to be a square cutout with a sticker loved, and then I put the Tonic Nouveau drops on top of that, so you can see those there. Those are in the pink, and then I inked the edges of all the layers. This one, it's got a little bit also of a little strip of a stickle. It's actually a sticker, but you could do stickles with that, or the Nouveau drops along the side there. And then it's got a little die cut piece that says, I'm not perfect, but I'm the perfect me, and then a couple of flowers, the top and bottom of that. And then this one has one of those, what I call Project Life pieces, and it looks like a cupcake or a cake, and then a couple of brads going top and bottom, and a little stamp that says treat yourself. And our last card for today, this one is all about layers again. Pink card base that I actually inked the edges of the outside, a pattern paper on the background that says really pretty flowers, and then I matched it with a yellow, which matches the same yellow that's in the flowers as base, inked the edge in that, and then a little envelope with all these little cute heart stickers pouring out of it, and it says follow my heart, and just below that a big focal point that came from the same set as the paper that says I am choosing happiness. So it's just layering lots of fun elements on top, keeping it very simple. There we go. Look at all these amazing cards, your everyday inspiration cards that you can use for all different types of the year, for all different purposes. So if you are interested in joining my card swap, make sure you check out the link below for our Facebook group, because our big Christmas card swap is happening right now. And therefore you can join in and make your own handmade cards and get them swapped out with some amazing card making fellow crafters. So thanks so much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you guys can see more fun videos coming your way from me. That way you can get a notification, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.